statements issued by hosts, co-hosts, guests, and anyone else appearing on the show do not reflect the stance of the College of New Jersey or the NJDOE OSE. Please use your professional judgment when implementing strategies and resources within your practice.
Switches and apps, little adjustments, big impact. The AT Center presents AT Talks, where every voice has room.
Hey listeners, Brian here. Welcome back to AT Talks. Today we're kicking off our episode with Carmelys Vincent. Carmelys is an inspiring advocate for people with disabilities and a mental health professional. In this first part of the episode, we cover the introduction, our rapid fire rounds, and dive deep into Carmelys' advocacy journey, including what first inspired her and how accessibility interacts with mental health. We hope you enjoy part one. Welcome back to AT Talks, the podcast affiliated with the Assistive Technology Center at TCNJ. We're here to inform, educate, and empower our listeners about assistive technology. I'm your host, Brian Kenyon, owner of Kenyon Learning and Consulting.
And I'm Vanessa Lombardo. I'm the director here at the AT Center at TCNJ.
Hi, my name is Carmelys Vincent, and I am a mental health therapist intern, currently doing her internship at the John Thomas Group in Maryland.
Cool. And so we normally like to start off our episode with our fit check so we can let everyone know what we're wearing. Today, I have a gray sweater on with a black polo underneath, wearing khakis. And I have a new bracelet that my daughter, Melody, made me, and it has blue and white beads on it that are kind of like sparkly.
She did a great job on that bracelet, Brian.
Thank you.
This is Vanessa. So I have on a gray sweater today. I'm a white woman. I have brown hair and glasses. And my gray sweater has a few colorful stripes on it today.
Hi, this is Carmelys Vincent again. I am wearing a long sleeve, pink and speckled with black dots, and a black tank underneath, uh, and black leggings with black socks striped with red and gray.
Perfect.
And then my hair is parsed in or separated in two little pigtails, which you may or may not be able to see. And I wear that.
Perfect. Cool. All right, Carmelys, we want to give our listeners a chance to get to know you a bit better. We usually do these rapid fire questions at the beginning. So we're going to do a set of rapid fire questions. They're both going to be fun and work related. So I think Vanessa has the first one for you.
All right, Carmelys. So the first question is, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
Cool. This is Brian. Do you prefer a physical book, an audio book, or an ebook?
Physical.
Do you have anything you're reading right now?
Um, no. I thought maybe I would be, but I want to go back into reading audiobooks and just reading for fun in general.
Mhm.
Most of the time I'm reading for academia.
Mhm.
I'm currently working on my second master's to get my licensure as a licensed graduate professional counselor, and then ultimately an LPC, a licensed professional counselor.
Cool.
All right. Next question. Do you like to dine in and make your own food, or are you a takeout kind of person?
Takeout for right now, but it may vacillate between takeout and dine-in depending on the day.
Mhm. For sure.
Brian here. Next one, cake or pie?
So I like both because I'm an eater. Uh, but at the time of writing, at the time of seeing this, I said pie because I thought, apple pie is good anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but I also
Can't go wrong. That's for sure.
Yes.
yes, I also love cake too, like a good. I saw orange sorbet, like an orange creamsicle cake. I was like,
Mhm.
it's good. So yeah,
Excellent.
it's kind of like the previous question, dine in or take out. I'm both on that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I am a huge fan of desserts myself, so glad we have that in common.
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay, another question. This is Vanessa. Are you a Windows person or a Mac person?
Mac all the way.
Mhm.
But I grew
Yeah,
up with Windows.
yeah.
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think Mac has taken over my life. It's Mac all the way, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but yes. It's the iPhone, the iPad, and the MacBook.
It's really something about the continuity, that
Mhm,
little there first of all, for the first past several years, I would sit and time block whenever Apple had their WDC,
mhm.
and I would just say, "Don't bother me from 1:30 to 2:30 because I am watching the Apple event."
Yes.
I would literally take notes like I was in class, and I would be like, all of the software updates, but the last one was so enormous with iOS, 26 that I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna sit and watch it whenever they upload it." Fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
since we're talking about AT, the amount of work that they did to sync, um, AT related things to the computer and embed that in iPhone, iPad, computer, desktop, mind blowing. And you see that with the versatility with, the outpour of support with people of diverse backgrounds with disabilities, both visible and invisible. It's mind-boggling, mind-boggling. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was just telling Vanessa that I made a mistake one day and I was just going through the accessibility features and I pressed the voiceover feature, and I think it was a voice over text, and it kept saying, "Unlock," and I would press it, and it would be, "Unlock, unlock, oh," and it went on for hours. I was like, "Oh, no, this is not what I meant." I finally got it. I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." So, goodness. So it's good. It's good that they have all these features for people that need them and are able to use them to relate to the world around them.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have the I say it all the time, they have accessibility built in. It's never an afterthought with them. So, and they're always
yes.
trying new settings, new things, um, new new ways to interact and access and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I they are very very well made.
Yes.
Cool. All right, Brian here again. Board games or video games?
Oh, board games all the way. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
do you have a favorite board game or just any board game? Doesn't matter.
No, I wanna get into that. I would say Scrabble if I had to,
Mhm.
because
Oh, yes.
I'm good. My brother calls me the walking dictionary. I said, "Oh, that's a kinda high bar." I don't really know much outside of psychology related stuff, because obviously that's for school and I would say biblically oriented things as well because I that's part of my faith and what I do. So a lot of puzzles, Bible themed crossword puzzles, word searches. I love all those things in Bible Jeopardy. So that's my niche, my
Do you
hobby.
do you
Now,
also do Wordle? Do you like to do the Wordle?
no, because that can be addicting, and I will find one more thing besides YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook to really spend my time off on the computer, away from what I'm supposed to be doing. So I try to limit. I actually want to spend more time and do my soft girl era, if you will, and kind of do crochet and knitting.
Ooh.
And so I was just talking about that with someone and kind of work on my dexterity and kind of build those muscles as I'm getting older ish. And so and what does that look like as a person with cerebral palsy, neurodivergent, as a clinician, as a client, as a Hispanic, as a, all the things. What does that look like? Getting a board game, putting the pieces together because it might be too big or too small for me to, well, the bigger it is, the better, but the smaller it is, I have to use my fingers that may or may not be conducive. I haven't tried, I don't know yet, but we'll see. Bring a scrapbook board and I'm down.
That's a new terminology, soft girl or soft I give soft man air, soft boy air. That's a new one, I
Yes,
like that.
yes.
I like that. That is great. Um, all right. Let's see. Vanessa here. Carmelys, what is the last song that you listened to?
Oh, I was just I said, "When I come on, I'm gonna know the person I'm gonna say," but I already have it put aside. It's Wilderness by Megan Thurman. She is
Nice.
a Christian and indie songwriter, so I'm very into, like, folksy types of song. I also like gospel music, depends, I'm very particular. I also like classical music, as well, 'cause it's good for the brain juices to flow and all the things. I also like quiet, so if there's background noise. I live in a group home and the TV's on in the living room. I close my door and just I allow the birds to speak to me and the trees and all the wind. I'm like, okay, I get feedback from that. I'm like, okay. So yeah.
That's cool. What is Brian here, what is your favorite app on your phone that is not work related?
Right now, so it would be my Bible app. Outside from social media, I had to say because that's on repeat. If I'm stressed, if I'm anxious, especially when I'm going to sleep, it puts me right to sleep. And in the morning, when I'm getting ready, I'm like, oh, that's what that means, and that's what that means, and that name is in the Bible too. And I'm like, wow. So as I'm getting ready, it helps me stay focused and kind of prioritize my.
Cool. Is it an audio it speaks back audio to you as well, not you don't just have to read it?
Yes, and they have different, persons, like narrators
Oh,
reading the Bible. So, right now, I have it on a Black, female narrator because the original was done by Simon Buck, who I believe is a European speaker. I may be wrong.
mhm.
But that's what he comes across to me. Now, Tanasha Leray, I already know she's a Black woman because she came around, so I was like, "Yes, a Black woman," and so, uh, I'll hear her and I'm like, "Oh, Tanasha Leray, slow it down. I gotta pause you for it, so it sound like I'm speaking to Tanasha Leray." But yes, that's what they have on the New King James Version. As you know, there are many different versions of the Bible.
Mhm.
So if you go to the King James version, there's just one, but on the New King James, there's two. And so I have it set for Tanasha Leray.
That's cool.
And I love it. So it goes through Genesis and Revelations. They're also different languages. So if I wanted, as you were saying prior to the podcast, Haitian Creole, I can also do that. I can also do Italian, French, Spanish, whatever language. They have hundreds and thousands of Bibles right now.
Cool.
That's really great. Lots of ways to obtain the content.
Yes, yes.
All right. This is Vanessa. Carmelise, if you could instantly learn one new skill, what would it be?
Everything. No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. I wanna learn everything, but to be realistic, I would love to learn how to be an effective communicator and to really speak
Oh, that's a good one.
what's on my mind, because if I can express what accommodations I need, since we're talking
Mhm.
about assistive technology and advocacy, what I need right now and nothing else, then, we shrink our conversations from 15 minutes babbling, 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 and babbling, getting to the meat of the conversation towards the end. Then people save what, like 75% of their time, their breath work, their all the things. You get to the point and you save yourself 30 minutes. So, I would love to clearly express what I want to say, and also a good active listener as well. I forgot to add
Mhm.
Because listening is the art of listening is a skill that no one has tapped into, but if I can listen to what you're trying to say, not just what you're trying to say, but what you're not saying, that's golden. That's
Yeah.
golden. That's golden. That's for every pitch that you're trying to make, every contract you're trying to sign, every bill you're trying to negotiate. It is the essence of life is listening, being slow to speak, and being quick to listen. That's my favorite.
I agree with that 100%. If you can communicate, then you're gonna get your point across, and obviously being an active listener in your profession is pretty critical as well, so no doubt that you chose those 2. I think, everybody's trying to get toward effective communication and active listening. That's awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
please.
Brian here again. Next question. Who has been your biggest inspiration in your work?
My faith, Jesus Christ. I love Jesus so much that I write on every single notepad, Post-it, and I was thinking I'm gonna have to, like, go on Etsy and a personalized Post-it and just say, "I love Jesus," or "Thank you, Jesus," because I always want to be grateful and have that mindset on my mind. But yeah, Jesus all the way because, um, outside of him, I would not be here if it wasn't for him. Uh, I was born at 5 months, weighing only 1 pound, and I am a domestic violence survivor, uh, PTSD survivor, and I live with challenges, both physical and emotional, and because of my faith and because of my church family and the support that I have through my faith and through my loved ones and through my friends, uh, I'm an overcomer every single day. Every single time I have a client and they see that I get them, not only sympathize with them, but empathize with them, has ripple effects because they realize, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too. Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. And our very last question, Carmelise, what's the most rewarding part of being an advocate?
The most rewarding part is the whole process, the start, the middle, the end. I couldn't pick one, but obviously it was a hard decision. But obviously the starting is just the research, getting to know the problem or the situation or the nuances of everything. Um, and just starting. Sometimes the hardest part of figuring out the problem or getting to the solution is actually starting.
Mhm.
And procrastination sets in when you are so fixed on how do I begin? How do I begin? You rewrite the list 100 different times on 10 different sheets of paper and you realize
Mhm.
you just need to get it done. Um, and so the starting. And then once you get it going, it's like, okay, how do I focus on what's the resolution to this process? What's the solution to this process? If I need to connect with others, with other people to get my questions answered, what are my questions? Should I be asking these questions? When should I ask these questions? What time of day should I ask these questions? Who do I talk to? And then the end, right? When you finally get the solution, when you finally get your yes, that's also important. How do I relay that to the person that it affects the most?
Mhm.
What is the end goal for this? So looking at it from a broad range perspective, in my arena or my work of field of work, we use the SMART acronym. So making goals specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time focused, right? All these things also apply to advocacy in a way that if I'm looking at advocacy, does this place have a ramp? Does this place affect my getting to medical appointments on time. If it doesn't have a ramp, it's gonna take me 10, 15 minutes just to walk across that, and then I'm gonna be tired, I'm gonna be exhausted. If the office is not open in the morning, and like I said before, rapid fire, I'm a morning person, and I have to wait 2 hours outside the door because there is no chair,
Mm.
so there's a problem.
Mhm.
After the second time of that, I was like, "Oh, I think I learned my lesson. I am just gonna go for a place that's open in the morning." Granted, if it's further away, but I see why now clients or patients or consumers that don't have access to the readily available resources that they need, whether it's medical, mental health, that they need, may have to travel 3, 4 hours out the way because within their state is not provided or it's not readily available or it's not insured under that umbrella. And so more effort needs to be done for people that are on Medicaid, Medicare, and I'm saying that both as a client, patient, consumer, and as a provider, a clinician. Yes, all the things.
So
I'm sorry
so
if I went off track.
No, but you when you started off, one of those things is like that quote, "Procrastination is the thief of time," and it's that starting portion, and that's so important just to for anything in life, get started. Just do it.
Yes,
A lot of people have started things and didn't know what they were doing and figured it out along the way, and as long as you're doing that, just figure it out along the way. That's because
exactly,
yeah, if you don't start, then when are you ever gonna start?
exactly.
That's good. All right, so thank you for answering all those questions, those quick fire. We're gonna get a little deeper into about your current work and things you're doing. So you're an advocate for people with disabilities and mental health professional. What inspired you to begin advocating for accessibility and inclusion, not only professionally but also personally?
Well, I would say me being in the nursing home. Me, I would say even further than that. I left home when I was 19. Uh, again, domestic violence survivor and all the things. Um, and I ended up graduating 4 years. I'm sorry, 6 years. Not after that, but plus two. With double bachelors. I would say because I knew I needed help, I asked for help, right? And there's a strong quote that I love that says, "Closed mouths don't get fed.
Hmm.
Closed mouths don't get fed." So if I need something, say something. You see something, you say something, but if you need something, say something as well. Because that's how you're going to get your point across. It may echo, right? You may feel like you're the only person in the room saying this need, this request, this demand, this whatever. But I felt like I needed to make sure that I made that first step towards freedom, right? And living. So freedom is not just a one and done kinda thing. It's daily making that not just that choice, but that decision to live in freedom and act accordingly and live like you're free. Live and believe that you're free. Sorry, that almost was a sermon. I apologize.
No, no, that was perfect.
No, absolutely. I mean, so much of our lived experience, and it impacts our lives as we grow older in all kinds of different ways. And clearly it, led you down this path. And as you said, I think, looking at the profession as a counselor and then thinking through mental health and talking and thinking about accessibility and assistive technology, like, how do you see all of this intersection, the accessibility and AT kind of intersection with mental health, well-being for people with disabilities? You talked about a few things that you're doing for your own mental health back when we were talking about the rapid fire questions, but how do you kind of see this playing out in your work?
Right. That's a good question. I think we're jumping right into the other questions.
Hmm.
Um the intersectionality is very unique and very key, right? So if I'm a clinician and I'm not taking care of myself first, I'm not resting, I'm not sleeping, it's gonna show on my face, one, because, well, um, I people can see my emotions on my face, and so, uh,
Mhm.
it's 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 critical for me to get rest. So I've been on this I was talking to a colleague, I said, "There's a difference between sleep and rest, because I can get rest and not be sleepy." Does that make sense? So
Mhm.
if I'm not rested, I can't show up for my clients. If I'm going to be there for my clients, I have to be my best self, right? And also too, if I need there's boundaries, if I need to, and I think that's the uniqueness of intersectionality, is if I need to understand my limitations, right? As a person with a disability, not saying limitations are wrong, right? Because there's not. It's just a boundary. And understanding the professional boundary, because there are ethical boundaries, right?
Mhm.
There are boundaries to everything, to everything in life, right? Everything in moderation when it comes to diet and food, because we know that obesity is not healthy, right? Same thing too with uh clients, documentation. Same thing too with disability. If I want access and I want to get into a certain area,
Mhm.
what is my purpose? Why am I trying to get into a medical office that is not open at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Mhm.
Well,
Sure.
I need to go to a place that offers that one, and
Mhm.
if that is in that way, I can say, these are the areas that need ADA accessible ramps or
Mhm.
elevators or grandfather claused in, resources for that, uh,
Mhm.
patient. I don't know if I
No.
answered the question.
Oh.
No, it does, because I think the intersection, what you're talking about is really in regard to access. So understanding that the mental health, the well-being of really everybody is around access. Sometimes that's physical access, sometimes that's other ways, but I think you're bringing that perspective to ask those important questions. And how do we support people along the way in all these different areas? It's not just about the doctor, your example, right? It's not about the health reason why you might be visiting the doctor. You're talking about additionally physical access to the place and helping people get support in that area as well, just to make it efficient. I mean, no one likes it when they're unable to get access to something. So
Right.
having that pervasive in your work, I think, is really important.
Yes, yes. Also too, from a academic standpoint, right? Many of my clients are minors and they need IEP and 504 accommodations. And what does that look like as far
Mhm.
as assistive
Mhm.
technology? Many of them past experiences as an intern. Many of them were second English was their second language, so ESL, making sure that the translator was there and that I
Mhm.
was and so I could say, "Hey, this client from a clinical standpoint would benefit from X, Y, and Z." Um, and so yeah,
Yeah, taking that all into
Well,
consideration.
yes,
and you have a perspective coming, from your own background.
yes.
Because of that, what impact do you hope to have in your advocacy?
The impact that I hope to have in my advocacy is that I want it to leave a legacy for others to say, "Oh, Miss Vincent showed this, that she proved that because of her mark, she didn't stay to herself. She mentored and helped others to see that yes, it is possible to move that mountain, to go past that mountain, to go through that mountain." Right? And I often tell my clients, if there isn't you can't go through the front door, there's always a back door. Go through the window. Make a
Mhm.
right? For pun intended on the window on that question. So, uh, so make a window, right? Make a way, right? And so make a way so that others can see that, hey, this is possible. If it's revealed to you that something is not working out or it's a problem being shown to you so that you can now make that change, be that change for someone else. So the impact is I want it to be one that is long lasting, that is enduring, that stands the test of time, but also is showing that um that brings along others, supports others, that rallies others, that brings about hope, encouragement, that is not just one standalone kind of fixed body of work, but that is and is not linear, but that is fluid. If that makes sense.
Totally. And that's a wrap on another episode of AT Talks. A huge thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We love making this podcast and building this community with all of you. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. The team at the Assistive Technology Center at TCNJ is dedicated to supporting educators across New Jersey. If you are inspired by today's discussion and want to bring high-quality, free professional development to your district, Vanessa and Madison are ready to help. To learn how you can partner with the center and build capacity in your school, head over to our website. You can find all the information you need at atcenter.tcnj.edu. And while you're there, we want to hear from you. Visit the podcast tab. There you can send us a question through our Google form, or even better, leave us a voice message on SpeakPipe for us to play live on the show. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all our latest events and resources. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube with the handle at ATCenterTCNJ. And don't forget to subscribe to AT Talks on whatever platform you're listening on right now so you never miss an episode. On behalf of Vanessa, Madison, and myself, Brian, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
School gets kinder when barriers fall from lab to library. Access for all. The AT Center presents AT Talks, where every voice has room. Tech that opens up the doors makes every classroom bloom. Experts and users side by side, sharing what really works. The AT Center presents AT Talks. Turning talks into perks. Turning tools into perks. Turning tools into perks. From can I do this to watch me succeed? Yeah. Every shared story plants one more seed. The AT Center presents AT Talks, where every voice has room. Tech that opens up the doors makes every classroom bloom. Experts and users side by side, sharing what really works. The AT Center presents AT Talks, fueling student success.
Brian here. Welcome back to AT Talks. Today, we're kicking off our episode with Carmelys Vincent. Carmelys is an inspiring advocate for people with disabilities and a mental health professional. In this first part of the episode, we cover the introduction, our rapid-fire rounds, and dive deep into Carmelys' advocacy journey, including what first inspired her and how accessibility interacts with mental health. We hope you enjoy part one.